Did you know that with the exception of man, God did not create anything after verse 1 in the book of Genesis? There are two words associated with creation, the words create and made, and they both have their distinct meaning. In Hebrew, the word create is bara, which means to create from nothing, create something without using material, or bringing something into existence. The word made in the Hebrew is asha, which means to make or to form out of something that already exists. In other words, to make something out of pre-existing material. Verse 1 of the book of Genesis reads, "In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth." The word create is bara. It's used here, which tells us that everything in existence was created from nothing. We are not giving a timeline for how long creation took or how long it's been in existence. Verse 1 is an independent clause telling us who did what and when. God independently and completely created the heaven and the earth, and he accomplished this in the beginning. Nothing should be added or taken away from what the verse is telling us. In verse 3 through 5, the light was not created, nor was it made. It was called forth. We can understand this better from reading Psalms 119, verse 130. The entrance of thy words giveth light. In a sense, when God says, "Let there be light," he is saying, "Let my presence be." The light is the manifestation of his word. It is God's will interacting with the physical realm, appearing on earth and giving light unto the world. In verse 7, we read that God made the firmament, which means he made the firmament from what was already there. He did not create. In verse 9 through 13, we read that God sets boundaries for the land and the sea, and he instructs the earth to bring forth vegetation, but he does not create. We see this with the air, sea, and land animals from the next few verses. The only other time that God creates is in verse 27, where God creates man, which is to say, to create from nothing, bringing something into existence. This within itself is a study for next time. Knowing the difference between create and made is an important factor for understanding the whole story of creation and for understanding the mystery of the kingdom of God.